think that's a good question. When we talk about creating an organization culture, there are certain things that we need to keep it in our mind. Let me first answer the later part of the question, which is on performance. So we need to look at certain parameters, and I call it octapace, very popular and propounded by Dr. T.V. Rao and Uday Parekh. So it talks about openness, confrontation, trust, authenticity, proactiveness, collaboration, experimenting, and other parameters. Now, broadly what it says is the moment you start dealing with people, we need to also provide them an organization culture which is very, very transparent, where people can freely voice their opinion. Now, in startup culture, that's given much more prominence. See, large organizations would have a lot of flexibility in strengthening the existing organization. Large organization would take time to build, and and hence the premise is they would already have an existing organization culture. The point is, how do we further strengthen it? Now, I can give you a few examples. My previous organization, where it's a Fortune 500 company, it's a large company, more than 10-year-old in operation in India. So what we have done is, using that octapace value, first we tried to understand where do we stand, and parameters around openness, confrontation, trust, authenticity, then collaborativeness, autonomy, experimenting, all of that were part of that test. That gave us a good starting point in terms of understanding where do we stand as far as cultural elements are concerned. And then every organization would love to get onto a startup culture these days, predominantly because it is very, very outcome driven, less of processes, complete metrics organization structure. A lot of processes are not in place, but you need to innovate, and that should not be a showstopper for finally achieving the ultimate outcome. So from that standpoint, organizations right now are talking about boundaryless behavior. Irrespective of which department you work or which department you belong to, you need to walk an extra mile to support the larger cause. If that happens, that is what in true sense one ingredient or one element of a startup culture. So normally startup cultures would not have those kind of boundaries, siloed way of working. So that is one thing, organizations, retail giants like Tesco's of this world, they have promoted the concept called boundaryless behavior, and they reward them. And ours is not an exception. We are also in the process of strengthening our organization culture. See, this is a real estate sector. When you talk about real estate, a very traditional thing, the starting point is, if I have to talk about Magic Bricks, it's a 14-year-old company, 10 plus years already in its existence. And so what we are trying to do is, we have identified parameters and we are trying to promote those elements which we believe resonates with startup kind of an organization culture.